TJ the Wheel, Joe coming at you live. It is Friday, June the 27th, 11:03 a.m. Central Time, Texas time. It is Expiration Friday for a lot of people, not for us, because we handle things 21 days to expiration on this channel mostly. In most cases, that's where we're going to show a variation to our game today, because that's not always true. It depends. You manage 21 days to expiration, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't let it drag out. It really is all situational, guys. It is all situational. So we're going to have Option join in today, possibly UZI joining in as well if he yeah, 1 second. I'm messaging my friend Carlos Murray, who's I've contracted him as my personal trainer from now to the end of the year. Faster workouts. So anyway, See Yourself Fit is his channel. Just plugging in real quick. Carlos Murray, See Yourself Fit, an amazing individual. He was actually our officiant at the wedding. Y'all have all seen him on the picture. He's the big old bulky black dude in the background. He's my brother in Christ. I love him like a brother. And I reached out to him yesterday. Because sometimes you're going to get in a situation where you just need help. If it's an option, you tune into this channel and you look for help, right? Like Q&A. I reach out to Option when I need help. Y'all don't know, I call this man 2 or 3 times a month, and I'm like, yo, walk me through it, right? Because you're going to get in situations in life. Well, I got in a situation with my life from a health perspective where I know everything that I need to do. But for whatever reasons, I just can't get on the path to continue doing it. I'm having a hard time with discipline. I'm having a hard time with motivation. So I'm like, I think what's missing is the accountability, because I have nobody to answer to, right? Sometimes the hardest part about being an adult is being an adult, because you got nobody to answer to. I could eat the ice cream before dinner. You know what I'm saying? I can do whatever. Mom, you're going to scold me. You know what I mean? My mom ain't even here anymore, so she definitely can't scold me. If she does, I'm gonna get real scared, right? She dead, you know what I'm saying? So that's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing about being self-employed is there's no accountability. So I reached out to my buddy Carlos. He was my workout partner for several years, and I was like, brother, I need your help. I sent him a video of the gym, and I was like, I don't have any excuses here. But I'm telling you what I'm lacking is I'm lacking that motivation. I'm lacking the discipline. I need you to hold me accountable, because there was a lot of times I didn't want to go to the gym, and this dude's like, hey, I'm here at the parking lot. And I don't want to offend anybody, Option, but he was on CPT. You know what CPT is, right? Colored people time. You know how y'all are late to everything except your funeral? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
And this flew forward and lied to me and tell me he was already at the gym. And I was like, I know damn well you're not at the gym yet, Carlos. And it was an ongoing banter for like 4 years. You know what I'm saying? It was like Ryan Davis, another African-American guy. He was on time though.
Okay.
So we always asked him if he was half white. You know what I'm saying? He was always on time. My boy Carlos never on time. And I was kind of like in the middle. So, but it was accountability though.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I was going to have my buddy show up at the gym and me not show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened that I got in really good shape along the way working out with this dude. Because he's really into it, dude. And his wife, too. His wife's got bigger arms than I do, bro. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So anyway, I reached out to him and I was like, hey, dude, hold on, it's UZI. I don't think UZI's going to join us. He's got stuff going on at the house. I need help. I want to be under 200 pounds by the end of the year. And I was on track to do it. And then all of a sudden vacation started happening. And I'm like, hey, I'm the only one out on vacation here. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm having to like eat an orange and shit and everybody's just having a grand old time, right? So I was like really starting to hate life with all these vacations, going to all these fine dining restaurants, and I'm not able to eat shit. So of course I gave in and started eating like crap, and I took the vacation with me. And
Yeah.
a lot of the progress that I had made the first couple of months of the year went down by the wayside. And then I started getting back in it again, already starting to see results, But then I was like, hey, I need help.
Mm.
I need help. And the best person that I know for that is somebody who loves me, right? Somebody who has my best interests at heart. So I reached out to Carlos, and he's already blowing up my text and stuff. So I'm like, fuck, man, the accountability. He's like, we got to get you right. So I got this damn smoothie. I want to eat 3 eggs with some bacon. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, we got to get all the protein now. We need to make sure that you're at 150, 200 grams, right? So all the lectures are already happening. He's going to send me a list of some supplements he wants me to get on and stuff, right? And I'm older now. I'm 50 years old.
Okay.
So anyway, so what's the motivation, guys? It's because at the end of the day, health is your number one wealth, right? Well, without your health, what do you really have? You know, you got your word, your reputation, your family. That's all fine and dandy. But I'm talking about the quality of life, the quality of your life. Nothing is going to impact it more than the quality of your health. There's a lot of people that are really, really healthy and they don't have a lot of money, but they're still generally pretty happy because your body is the only place that you're ever going to live, right? Your body, your mind, your spirit. That's where you live. The fancy house, that's where you go to sleep at night. But I'm saying, where do you live? You live in your body. So it's like all of these things that I know, but I need somebody to kind of like nudge me, if you will, my coach, right? A lot of these athletes have coaches, you know, and I'm like, I just need a coach. So he's going to coach me through this thing, and we're going to I'm going to be like the little guinea pig on his channel and my channel going through this thing as well. And then Chris Patel reached out to me yesterday. He's like, hey, we're kind of in the same boat, figured out the money game, but we got to get healthy again. If not, we're not going to be able to enjoy all this money. So Chris Patel and I are going to be doing a podcast a couple of times a month, kind of going through our from fat to fit situation. And I told my wife last night, baby, the only thing I want fat is my fucking wallet. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Other than that, I want to be slim and trim. Right now, the immediate goal is 200. The long-term goal is 185 pounds. Just to be a little bit height weight proportionate. Still on the heavier side at 185 because I'm only 5'8", but also don't want to be skinny. Like I cannot stress that enough. My whole life growing up, I was skinny. And I just didn't like it. So I started like lifting weights when I was like 12 years old and stuff. So I want to look and feel good. So anyway, enough about that. Let's get into this thing. The Tasty Trade Way. We sell options, right? Sell put, sell cost, collect premium, roll when it makes dollars and cents. And we manage trades what? 21 days to expiration. Correct option?
Yeah, so to say, yeah, you can say that.
But there are some exceptions. Because there's a difference, and we're going to talk about it. There's a real big difference between a short strangle and a covered strangle.
Correct.
So I'm going to feature 3 positions today, 2 of which are covered strangles, and 1 of which is short strangles. And we can talk about all the gimmies and gotchas with dealing with this thing called greed. Because when you get inside of 21 days to expiration, this supersedes all the Greeks. It's your greed factor, right? Like there should be a little row or a column for your greed factor, right? Kind of like that fear and greed index. You have a fear and greed factor that you know exists. It's like the good angel and the bad angel, or whatever, the angel and the devil on the shoulders. And that is what you fight with, especially when you're 21 days out, you built your highway. We're going to show Palantir 120, 150, and she's cruising right down the middle. Boy, I feel like I don't have to manage that trade, right? So I'm saying these are the hardest trades to manage. It's the ones that you feel do not need any managing. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, everything's going good. I don't got to do shit. I'm going to collect data. It says it's $11,000 a day right now. Wow. Why don't I want to get that? I got 4th of July coming. So that day doesn't really count. So your greed starts looking at all the rose-colored glasses scenario. And that is also a recipe per my experience. That's how winners turn into losers, is when you overstay your welcome at times. So let's get into it. let me go here, present, share screen. Let me know if you see the little kaleidoscope action.
Mm-hmm.
Is that on there?
No. Now it is.
We on there?
Mm-hmm.
And now tell me if you see the portfolio.
Yep.
We there?
Yep.
Because I got it on my TV over here, but I feel like there's always like a 15-second delay whenever I'm watching us on TV over there. It's kind of weird. So anyway, okay, let's get into it. I'm not going to feature anything else except my son's portfolio and the big portfolio. So right now I don't even have it on the right portfolio. We're going to start on my son's portfolio. What did I do yesterday? I rolled these already. There were 22 days out. I was sitting at 9 and 10 on the expiration or on the strikes for the July the 18th cycle, I believe it is, 21 days from now. And I did this yesterday just for expediency purposes, and it was already in the money and whatnot. But what I did though is I rolled the 9 on the put. I rolled it to 10 so that I'm essentially qualified for more upside, if you will, on the like I'm making more money because I rolled the call from 10 to 11. So I qualify for another $4,000 of intrinsic value potentially because there's 4,000 shares on. So the beautiful thing about the coverage strangle options, you want to walk them through this position. Like, what are the gimmies and the gotchas as you see it here? There's 4,000 shares owned at 764. So that part's doing really well. Mm-hmm. There's an agreement to buy 5,000 more shares at $10. So that's the big gimme and the gotcha, because if you look at the cash, there's 43,000. So there's an agreement to buy $7,000 worth more of Riot shares than we own, right? Or the money that we have on the sidelines. And then there's also an agreement to sell these shares at 11. So well, looking at that position slowly, what would you say are the gimmies and the gotchas there? Obviously, this portfolio is totally out of whack from the standpoint that we only have one position in the portfolio, but I'm generating about anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month in premium. So I'm ringing that cash register, and that cash balance keeps going up. The net liquidation keeps going up, and I'm just studying this stock like a hawk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I don't see nothing wrong with having one position, especially if it's generating money, right?
Right.
Especially if you're trying to grow the account the way you want to. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with the position that you have on, honestly.
What do you think? Because I was at 9 and 10. What do you think about the idea? Because initially I was just going to go from 9 to 11.
Yeah. Well,
then I was like, well, then I feel like I'm always going to be managing the call to take pressure off the call. Well, why don't I increase the strike of the put? Because then if I'm not willing to increase the strike price on the put, then maybe I'm not that worried about the call to begin with. It was like a litmus test for me. You know what I mean?
I mean, being that you don't have no risk to the upside, and that's what we was discussing. I would, I always try to be as aggressive as I can possibly be, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, rolling from 9 to 10, I mean, that's fine. You take out, you might have to roll up if you want to, but I mean, it's nothing wrong with that position, honestly. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with it. Let me look at the trade table.
Where do you need to look at? This guy right here?
Yeah, just a trade table.
Okay. This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have 37 on the put and 50 on the call. And again, 49 days from now, right? So
yeah.
And the reason I want to play it real tight, like let me just give you all my justifiers, right? Because we all have a game plan when we get into this situation. The reason I want to play this thing tight is because Riot is not demonstrating any staying power. Like it shoots up to 11 or 12 and then it comes back down to like 7 or 8. You know what I mean? And I've already decided I don't want to own these shares on the way back down. Like I want to lock in a win here, and I can get back into cash. There's TSLL. I could go make $8,000-9,000 a month right now, probably selling puts at $10. You know what I'm saying? So I already have somewhere else that I can pivot to if they were to take these shares away. And then I see this strip here. It's not very big. It's not very wide. I mean, it is, but not really. No. And I'm like, the volatility is not real high, So I see some factors that could hurt me here. Like a volatility expansion can hurt me and all of those things. So I just don't want to find myself to where I'm in this trade 100 days out and I lose all my liquidity. And I got excited about some premiums, but then I got major drawdown because I got 4,000 shares, right?
Yeah. And I mean, that's like one of the only things I see is when I look at it, because, I like to look at the deltas. So if you look at your deltas and you see how your delta will move from where it's kind of current, like we say 51, it's going to drop hard to 36. So you're going to lose a lot of delta. So now that's going to put a lot of pressure on you. But I mean, on your call side, it's not a bad, it's almost the same way. But like I said, with no risk to the upside, that's not really the issue. But it's just, with the volatility being so low, as far as the IV rank, you got good implied volatility, which being close right now is the best thing, right? Because your implied volatility is good, but it's just the fall off. If, the stock tends to go down a little bit, it's going to really drop your deltas. But you'll be fine, though. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and I'm okay with this thing going to like 12.50 or 13, and then 21 days from now or 30 days from now, I'll be like, okay, well, maybe I just stay at 10 because I don't have enough cash to do anything else because I'm limited on buying power. But I can try to go from 11 to 11.50 because I want to go make another $2,000, right? Cool. And I can play that game, and I think that's the thing that I want to teach here today. Option is, you don't need to get it all back on one trade. You don't need to get it back on one roll. This is a process. This is a process, because if it was just that easy to buy at the bottom and sell at the top, there's no need for options, right?
Exactly.
But that's why we sell options, is to give ourselves that error, that it's kind of like our little strip, right? our margin of error, our margin of safety, if you will. Yeah,
it's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if I do it all the time. Actually, I did it today, meaning, with my NVIDIA, right? I had my cover strangle on. It was rolling. I was rolling, doing everything, but now it's out of whack, right? And the video is just running. Right. So I was sitting at 140, but instead of staying at the 140, I just took it off. I took a $300 loss on it, but that's fine. I can always get $300 back. Yeah. It's not, you don't have to, like you said, get it all back at one time, and you don't have to rush it.
Absolutely. I'm just glancing at these other positions real quickly, guys, to make sure I'm not missing anything before I get over here on my soapbox on the big.
Now, before you go there, let me see your let me go to your option order chain.
Over here. Okay.
No, the order chain on the right hand side.
This little guy right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to your order chain down at the right hand side, right there. No, come down.
This guy right here.
That order chain. There you go.
Okay.
You under SoFi. Go on under Riot.
No, then let me get on the right portfolio. Give me a second here. Position. So this is Riot. There we go.
There you go.
So now I go over here, click order chain. Is that it?
Yeah, and go do come down to year to date. I just want to see everything. Go to year to date, just in case. I don't know what else you probably.
Okay, right here.
Yeah. So I mean, just in total, you're only down like $563. That's just on the options, right?
On this particular trade,
just
on this particular ticker, right?
Exactly. Just on that particular ticker with just your options. Right. I mean, you know how easy that is to get back, right?
Yeah, facts. And up a cool 11.
Oh, you're not even
11,000 on the share. So I say the options haven't been hurting me here.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're stressing about the options, it's not really something to stress about, because, like you said, you up on the shares by itself. So that's great. Like, think about what you've been doing all year. Look at all the credits you've been taking in. You see what I'm saying? And it's just been offsetting everything. So it's like, when you look at that, it's like, okay. Because see, one thing about this is it's just going to just reflect the option. It's not going to reflect the shares.
Yeah. So, but there's been a lot of this. So I've been happy to take in those credits.
Exactly. I mean?
Because what have those credits done? They've grown the cash balance.
Exactly.
If I'm not willing to take in those credits, I'm never going to grow in the cash balance unless I just deposit money, right? So to me, whenever I started selling options, it started looking at it almost felt like artificial injections of cash.
Mm-hmm. So you're getting what, $7 right now? You're sitting on $7.59 per contract in credit. Is marking at 808. You ain't that far behind, right?
No.
A little bit of
And
time.
then I'm collecting, and I am collecting a little theta, right? I'm collecting $100 a day right now, right? This little circle with in the middle, the little snowman.
Yep.
That's theta. That's 100. All things being equal, right?
Yeah.
It stays the exact same price. The IB stays the same. The passage of time is paying about $101 a day. So I'm like, if I'm only down $500, I mean, in a week, I could theoretically be even on this whole thing.
Exactly. So it's like, man, you can't.
I'm in decent shape. I'd say I'm in decent shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the featured position, guys. Let's get to the featured portfolio so we don't drag this thing out. And let's start with CleanSpark. CleanSpark's a covered strangle. So I'm going to feature CleanSpark, I'm going to feature Palantir, and I'm going to feature TSLL today. There's CleanSpark is a covered strangle. Palantir is a short strangle, naked. And TSLL is a covered strangle. And these are the ones that are all 21 days to expiration. That's why I'm featuring these like this. Everything else I've already handled yesterday because I was like, oh, it'll just be too long of an episode. A and B, full disclaimer, whenever I do stuff on the live, I make less money because we're trying to get shit filled and move on to the next one. That's why nobody wants to trade live, right? Because you're going to have to, you want to fill right in the middle or a little bit above, like tick it up once or twice. You're going to have to be waiting 2 or 3 hours for those fills because that's the way that I do life off camera, right? Mm-hmm. But on the channel, for expediency, we sacrifice all of those monies. That's why I don't go live as much because every time I go live, I feel like I miss out on, with the amount of contracts I deal with, I miss out on $1,000 or $2,000 in premiums for going live for you guys. So I'm like, okay, do I love these people that much that I'm willing to sacrifice $1,000 or $2,000 a day in premiums to go live just to keep the program going, if that makes sense?
Yeah.
So I'm giving y'all a little bit of the strings and the puppets right now as to why TJ the Wheel Dealer doesn't go live all the time, because there's no way that I'm going to make that money up in this lifetime on YouTube.
Yeah.
Whenever the only money that I get is from the members themselves, right? Because I get probably like $100 a month from the ads and stuff on YouTube. So that's why I figured out why my channel didn't exist on YouTube. Because remember, I said that I was looking for me when I started the channel. Mm-hmm. It's because of that. Because somebody else did the math and they're like, shit, if I go live everything on YouTube, it's going to cost me $10,000, $15,000 a week. Not interested, right? Mm. I'd have to be pumping some course. I'd have to be pumping something in order to make up for all of that money. Or I'd have to be like really very, very interested in growing my brand, and I'm not really interested in doing that, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm like, okay, I'll go live maybe once, maybe twice a week, and the rest of it I'll save it for FaceTimes and whatnot. And most of my trading is offline now because I can go get the better fills because I can be patient. Sometimes the cash register rings, sometimes it doesn't. I'll put it on the next day, but I don't have a show that I have to keep moving forward, if that makes sense.
Correct.
So anyway, there y'all have it. In case y'all are wondering, why don't you go live anymore? Because it's expensive to talk to you guys, man. It's very expensive to talk to you guys. So I hope y'all can appreciate that candor. I got 100,000 shares here option. I'd say we're doing okay, up 174,000 on the shares. I know you're not a fan of owning shares, but this is why I am. Because sometimes I see these opportunities where I feel like the downside's here and the upside's here, and I'm like, I'm going to go grab that bag. But I am running a very, very tight covered strangle right now. This one was actually sitting at $8. I rolled it up a couple of days ago. So I'm sitting at 9 on the put and 11 on the cover call. The reason it's covered by the 100,000 shares. Mm-hmm. And we're at 21 days to expiration, but I feel zero urgency to do anything with this position right now, because all things being equal, the theta is $2,685 a day. There's still $78,000 of extrinsic value on there. And again, if it goes to 11, they take the shares, it's whatever. I just got to wait 20 days. And then I capture this $65,000. So I'm not really feeling like I'm in much of a hurry to give this money back. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, if I want to roll the entire position, because we're going to be looking to roll to the 49-day cycle.
Yeah.
Then now this becomes the question. Do I stay here at 9 and 11, or am I rolling on purpose with a purpose? Am I going to roll from 9 to 10 on the put so I can make more money over there, but then I take on more risk? Or the only reason that I could see to roll is because I'm absolutely convinced that CleanSpark's going to do a moonshot or a little bit higher than it is right now. And I want to go from 11 to 12. And then I'm not willing to up the ante on the put.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, what does that look like? So I pick up $44,000 in credits while qualifying for an additional $100,000 of intrinsic value, right?
Okay.
So that's the incentive to roll. To me, the gotcha is, well, if CleanSpark goes down to $8, you're going to be real pissed off that you did that, right? Because now all your gains are wiped out over here from the 100,000 shares.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always gimmies and gotchas to this thing. There's not one perfect way to play this thing on the front end.
Correct.
There's a perfect way on how you should have played it after you had the answers to the test, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the front end, you have to weigh all the pros and cons. So option, just like I asked Carlos to help me out with my fitness, I want to bend your ear on this particular position. Mm-hmm. What is your eye looking at? What are you looking at, and what would be the determining factors for you to either close it out right now? Like, I mean, you can literally close out the options, give back 78,000, lock in a huge win on the shares themselves too. That's one option. The other option is to do nothing. The other option is to let it ride, and then the other option is to roll it. Right? That's it.
I mean, first thing I do, I definitely, I always want to pull out my side and see where I'm standing with my options, like where I'm at, how much I'm down, if I'm winning.
Okay, so are we where you want to be right here? Is that
you can do whatever you want to do? You already whatever. But
bro, I just want y'all to know. I know that I'm crushing this position, but I want an option.
Like,
I can write a book on this position. Y'all can learn everything you ever need to learn about options.
And that's from an option perspective. That's why I love the option chain, right? I mean, the order chain, because it gives you everything that you need. So if I'm in that position, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to the trade table. Oh yeah.
Okay, I go over here. You want me to go over here?
To the trade table.
There we go.
Go ahead. You can close that. You can clear that order.
Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, gotcha.
Clear that order.
Yes, sir.
Open up the 21-day.
This is where we at. Okay.
And I'm gonna roll that 9 all the way down to the 11 and turn it into a straddle. I'm gonna pick up more credit, right? So it doesn't matter. And I'm gonna let it play out to like the 14-day. And then I'm gonna roll that straddle out, and you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna restructure the strangle.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're only gonna pick up $80 for doing that.
No, you didn't close out the 9.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Clear order. Okay, help me out. What? So
hit the X.
This guy right here? Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then
this guy right here like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I do everything from the positions page. So this is why.
Correct. Oh, okay. That's what I would personally do.
So what you're basically saying is you're not going to do anything on the call side because first of all it's out of the money, but you're going to raise the ante on the put, and you're gonna raise it all the way to 11 and turn it into a straddle, and then you're just playing the game called wait and see. In the meantime, you collected another, in this case, $69,000 in credit.
Correct. And then I get down to like another 14 days or whatever I can extract. So being that I'm picking up that additional 69 cents, now I'm gonna roll it to the 49-day, right? see how it works, where it stays, if it hangs around, and then I can restructure the position the way that I want to restructure it.
So what about this then? What about, because this is a little bit more in my comfort zone. What about going over here and going to the 49-day and then doing this right here to pick up more intrinsic, but then going over here from the 9 to 10, and then now I'm picking up 79 cents, so not quite as much, but I feel more comfortable at 10 versus 11 on the put because again, I'm very familiar with this underlying, right?
I mean, now in that sense, see if
then I'm qualified for another $100,000 on the back end, right? If the share goes up, because all the nerds on Twitter are saying this thing's going to go to like $15, and because that means a whole lot to me. But you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of short interest on this stock. Is the thing is like the short interest is very high on this stock, so it is a squeeze candidate also.
I mean, you know, it's sort of, I mean, it's however you choose to do it. I mean, but that's just what I would personally do. I would give it a little bit more time to suck in a little bit more of that premium on the front end, because I'm looking at the fact that it really has a low IVR, even though it has a high implied volatility, it just has a low IVR. And it's like, you know.
So this is where I roll it. I roll it over here, right? So like what I would be comfortable with doing is just going from here to here, not going all the way to 11. I'm just,
I mean,
I'm not comfortable doing it.
That's cool, but the thing is, you want to pick up something because you're not getting but like 13 cent, 11 to 12 cent on that put,
I'm
right?
getting 20 cents there, going from 9 to 10. I pick up a little bit more going to 10.50. I'm more comfortable there.
Yeah, I just don't like them half strikes.
Yeah. It's just because you sports gamble option, you're giving it away right now. You want to be able to push.
Yeah, I don't want that. But I mean, that's decent. That's fine right there. That's fine. You know, you pick up a little bit more, and then you could kind of let it, you know,
you can let it marinate, because then if it goes to like 11.30, then I have a decision to make, right? I'm like, well, I already picked up those credits over here, so maybe I got money when I sold the call, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I just let the shares get called away and lock in a fucking huge win, and then I can just start a new strangle, but maybe go naked on the next cycle or something. I mean, I can still be in there, just sell puts.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about giving up the shares, though. You don't never have to worry about giving up that, because look at, you see, just base it off of the credits that you done took in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I want to sell these shares at some point because because there's $1 million tied up on these shares.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And I have other positions that I might have to own those shares. Like I've got 3,000 naked calls on SoFi at $20 for December. At some point, I might have to make good on that position if I don't want to keep battling it, right?
I see what you're saying.
So I was doing this for a swing trade, and here we are, right? It's working. So I think I do love this move. It's just increase the strike on the put and leave the shares alone, because then it's going to take any pain away. Even if this thing goes to $12, I'm not really feeling it because I made quite a bit of money over here, and it's not like I didn't get paid for selling the calls to begin with.
Correct. Now, I do that for the next 7 days. I wouldn't hold it all the way through, but I do it for 7 days. And,
I like it. So it's there. It's out there. It's marinating, right? It's marinating. Let's go to another covered strangle, and then we'll end the segment on Palantir. So another covered strangle that I have, this is a swing trade again. This is TSLL. Whenever I got into this, it's because I was getting my ass kicked on Tesla, and I was like, man, it's going to take a lot more money to go make the money back on Tesla right now. But this little sister over here, little brother, TSLL, I can make money over here, and that's what I've done. So you guys will see the year to date. I've already surpassed the losses that we have on Tesla, even though those losses on Tesla aren't really accurate, because it's talking about when I brought in. I brought shares from Robinhood to the Tasty Trade platform, but anyway, I still want the books to look clean, so I'm going to try to manufacture the win to where it's green at the end of the year on Tesla as well. But I got 50,000 shares, up a little bit on the shares here, and then I've got the puts at 12. Again, this is a covered strangle, own the shares, and I've got the calls at 17. What I had considered doing is rolling these 17s down to like 14. And picking up more credits and calling like good, but rolling to the right now, I don't feel like doing that.
Yeah, pull up the trade table.
This guy right here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, 24 to the 14. Yeah, that'll give you like another 40 some cent. Yeah, that ain't bad. That ain't bad.
Yeah. So I
You know,
do.
yeah, I'm gonna put that joy to the 12.
No, I hear you. But
But I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
then,
that's
so
that's
then
good.
what I'm doing here is I'm roll. Hold on. What's going
Hold on, you got to take off the shares.
on? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you
Got
got
it.
that highlighted.
Thank you. So I'm gonna roll strikes down, and I'd probably go like right here. So that brings me up a little
20.
bit.
I go to the 14 and a half. At least get 30, 40, yeah. I mean, that's right there to the expected move.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's an extra $15,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then you just let that kind of run off for the next 7, 8 days. See where, you know.
See what she does. There we go. So I'll let it marinate, and I'll come back to it and make those adjustments by a penny if we need to. But just let's keep it going, because this one's going to take a little bit more convincing. So we got Palantir. I got a naked strangle, and we're up, 342,000 year to date. We'll pull up the order chain in a little bit, so you'll tell me whether or not this shit looks real to you or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then we built a highway at 120 on the put, 150 on the call, and this drunk driver has been wanting to veer off towards this 150, but she came back today, right? Like, maybe there was a little glare in her eye or whatever. Yeah. That little course correct really helped out today. So this is where we're at, collecting $11,500 in theta daily, all things remaining equal, right? In a perfect world, in a utopia, an ideal society. That's a lot of money that's going from collected to captured, right?
Correct.
On a daily basis via theta. So this is like, we're in big time data collection mode right now. And this is where options can get really, really fun when you're a seller, and they can get not so fun when you're a buyer, because somebody's paying that data. It's the counterparty, right? And that's why you got to handle your business, because I'm showing you how the shit gets real at the end, right? Because there's $202,000 of extrinsic. Where's it got to come from? I mean, we're out of time here, right? So you take the 21 days. Let's just do some simple math. Take the 202,000 divided by 21 days. You know what I mean? And voila, it's going to give you that 11.5, and it's only going to get faster, right? It's going to expedite as we get closer to expiration. But there's a lot of risk here. Option. You want to talk about this trade real quick? Like, what? Talk about the risks and stuff, and then you want me to pull up the order chain, I assume.
Yeah, let me.
There we go. How's that?
You got $10.91 is marking at $4. Okay. I mean, the risk is real, right? And I mean, in all honesty,
and it's shown it to me, because it went to like 147 a couple of days ago, right? So this
then go to your trade table, because go and hit your trade table. Then I'm gonna tell you what I do. When you open up that 21 day, right?
Here we go.
You look at the position.
So I'm right in the expected move on both of them, right? Just outside, or in it over here on the 150, but I'm outside it on the 120.
71. And put where you got the option interest.
The what? I'm sorry?
You see up there where you have the option interest, where you have like the numbers for the option interest. Come down over right there.
Open interest, you mean?
Yeah, I mean open interest. My fault.
Okay.
Change that to gamma.
This guy. So you need me to go over here?
All right, right where you was at. Where you was at before. You can just click on that.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. Change that to gamma.
Okay.
All right, so we see that, and we just talking about the risk, right?
Yes.
And then this is how the risk can get real, just adding on to what you were saying, and how even though you're collecting that data becomes a risk as well as you get closer to expiration. Because remember how you said that data got to come out of that 2000.
It has. It's shit or get out the pot time. It's shit or get out the pot time.
So if you look right now, our gamma is at 2, but close that 21 day. Close the 21 day and look at, let's say, the 14 close Minimize, minimize the 21-day chain and go to like 14. Go to 14 days.
Okay.
See how that gamma is now starting to pick up at the money? The gamma number is moving to 3, right?
Oh, yes.
So it's starting to increase. So go to the 6-day now. And this is where the problems start kicking in at. See, now it's at 5.
Yeah.
So when you look at how
so what you're doing is you're showing through the options chain the actual gamma squeeze in real time.
Exactly. And how the longer you stay in beneath that 21 days, your risk become real, right? Because you want your gamma to kind of stay flat, right? You don't want it to.
But the only way it can stay flat is the delta has to stay flat, right? Like the gamma is the accelerator to the delta. So you basically need Palantir needs to stay between like 135 and 138. Because if it gets too choppy, it's going to really, even though the days are going by, the data collection isn't going to offset your gamma squeeze action.
Yeah, it's not going to, and it's not going to also change your deltas as they begin to change. And the fact that you have a low IVR, if that implied volatility begins to kick up, that's even more. You see what I'm saying? Risk that you holding on to. So, I mean, right now it looks good.
It does, but again, this is where you overstay your welcome. You're like they invited you over to stay 2 or 3 days. Anything longer than that, you're like takeout food, right? You start stinking a little bit. you leave the fish out for a couple of days, it stinks out the whole house, right?
Yeah, and I mean, as it start getting closer, because we know that gamma and all that is at its highest at the money. If you stay in it and you start getting closer, the more you get closer to your short strike, it's going to ramp up. You know what I mean?
So these are the options in my mind. So let's walk through it. My option is one, to do nothing. Take a gamble and collect $11,500 a day. That's an option. The other option was to de-risk the position some by rolling down on the put and rolling up on the call. So going like 115 to 155, I give back some premiums, but I'm able to stay in the trade a little bit longer. That was an option in my mind. Another option is just be methodical. This is only the 3rd, 4th cycle in this trade. I want to be in this trade for the next year, and I could just roll and widen because I have to deal with earnings over here on 8-4. So that's going to because staying in this trade longer than the 21 days is going to introduce another element, and then the IB is going to spike, right? So as an option seller, that's not the best thing that we want, right? We're playing for IB contraction. That's why like rolling through a binary event comes with a different set of risks in my mind, right? And again, this isn't like the Tasty Live where they're going to be like, we've back tested for 15 years. And I don't have all that. I'm just kind of telling you like what my simple mind sees. So what does that look like? If we go here and we roll the, kind of like just the way we would do it normally, we just go here, and this was an idea, going from here to here and going from here to here and calling life good. Pick up another 302,000 and I say, screw it, I'm in it, but I feel safer. I'm pretty much outside of the copper strip. I'm definitely outside on the put side, and I'm approaching the upper end of the spectrum on the call side. And I'm bringing in more credits, and then now I just go to sleep for another 3 weeks or so, and then we're back at it again. We're back at it again in 20, 30 days.
I mean, me personally, right? This is what I can give you.
Oh, bro, I'm not sure. Just hold on. I'm not sure what I want or should do. This is why we're having this live, right? This is not like my mind ain't made up. Remember when I said, hey, don't talk to me about Tesla, I got this. This isn't that conversation. This is not that conversation. I had a plan when we started, and then it went according to that plan. And now I'm like, But the shit going a little too good, the shit going a little too good, and this is what hasn't changed. I think Palantir is overvalued like a mug, yo. That hasn't changed in my mind. I just figured out a way to make money with it. So now the question becomes, should I just be happy with the 340 grand and repurpose the money elsewhere where I feel more comfortable, because I have found another trade that I feel a lot better about, and I'll show you all that in a second.
Okay.
Because when you have something to pivot to that, in fact, I've already pivoted to, and it's less capital intensive, the premiums aren't quite the same, but it requires less capital. And I just feel better about it because my entry point on the put on the other underlying, dude, if Palantir starts trickling down, I'm not excited to take ownership at 120, dude. I'm like, this shit should be worth like 50 in my mind, right? Because again, I'm an old school valuation. This is where my game has to involve, because this artificial intelligence and all this other shit, nobody knows how to value that stuff because it's new.
Exactly.
It's new. So this thing could very realistically be trading at nosebleed valuations for years to come. And this kind of becomes a Warren Buffett situation for me, where he didn't get into Apple early because he didn't understand. He never got into Tesla because he didn't really understand, right?
Yeah.
And you stay in your sphere of competence, in your sphere of confidence. But that also costs you a lot of money if you're not willing to grow as an investor, right? Because Warren Buffett said his biggest losses are the ones that don't show up on paper. It's investments that he knew about and he didn't take advantage of.
Correct.
People always like, be greedy when others are fearful. I'm like, why don't y'all talk about the real shit? Why don't y'all talk about when the man says, I left probably trillions on the table because I wasn't willing to expand my sphere of competence. And that's where I was like, dude, this was a very challenging trade for me. Doing this naked strangle, this short strangle on Palantir was a very challenging trade for me, because lie detector, hand to God, I think that stock at the very, very highest should be like $80 a share. And that's me being extremely generous.
Yeah.
So if I get caught on the downs, if I get caught on the puts, I don't even know how to explain or articulate how fucking pissed off I'm going to be at myself. Because I knew better, right? Like I knew better. And I went from brag holder to bag holder overnight because all of a sudden there was a come to Jesus meeting with Mr. Market. Now, are those things going to happen? I don't know, but they could.
Yeah.
But they could. Here I'm in a position to just ring the cash register and move on and wait until I feel comfortable again. So I thought about staying in the trade through the weekend, and maybe Monday, Tuesday of next week. Wednesday, we have July the 4th, right? Wednesday or Thursday, July the 4th. And then maybe I just close the trade out completely at that point. And then I let things settle down. We get on the other side of earnings. I get more information, see how the market receives that information. And then I can always put the trade back on. If I get comfortable with it again. I guess the thing that I can't quantify for when I put on a trade versus whenever a trade plays out, this is y'all's gold for the day, is how do you calculate your comfortability in the trade? Because my level of comfort is like way down here on that trade right now, even though it's going well. I'm very, very uncomfortable because I keep trying to like rationalize the valuation, and I can't get there.
Well,
I can't get there. I watch Amit's channel late at night. Amit's like, because he's Team Palantir, right? I think he's got a fucking Alice Park tattoo on his ass somewhere or something, right? Like, I mean, this dude is all about it. He follows every little thing, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then I hear of $100 million contract that came in, and he's like, hey, this one's a big deal. And I'm like, okay, well, that's exciting. But we still got a fucking valuation over here that's like sky high. I'm like, you need like $1 billion deal so that people get like to where the valuation is like, oh shit, this could be real. Like, hey, this is going to be a bargain 10 years from now, right? All that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning towards gutting it out for another couple, 2 or 3 days, and seeing if I can milk a little bit more money.
I mean,
And
personally,
I service my greed. But what I think that I can definitively say is I'm not comfortable rolling out the trade.
yeah, I mean, I mean, where you at now, you have to do something, right? And when you're dealing with that naked strangle, you don't want to go past the 21 days, because we may think things will work out, but just not knowing is just not smart. So me personally, what I would do is, man, I will close out and keep probably 25 contracts and roll it out.
So that's an idea option. What about closing?
I will close out what you got?
Can I? No, you know me, I'm risky, right? So how about closing out half?
I mean, you can close out half and roll. But if you're going to stand,
but I'm just saying, then it's like it's just a lot more manageable. It's not really affecting anything, and I can manage it. But I'm like playing this big. I don't think that I can do that. But I can close out half and then roll the other half, like we talked about.
Yeah, you can do that. And I mean, with earnings coming up, because earnings come up when? Because that's one of the things that, you know, I know volatility is going to pick up
big time.
So my thing is, I will get small as I can, and then you can always add on, right? And then play that little game to see what happens for the meanwhile, because you can always add on when you want to. You know, earnings is on the 8th, so
you're making a lot of sense right now. Hold on.
You know,
so how about this? Why don't we close out 400 of them? Are you able to come on the channel next week or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we close out 400 and let's revisit this conversation Monday or Tuesday of next week for the rest of the 100.
Yeah, there you go.
Then I'm locking in a win.
I want you in the 49-day, but okay.
No. I'll roll right now too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll right now too. We're good. So what I'm basically saying is I'm gonna lock in a win here, right? We're de-risking the portfolio. The buying power going to shoot up quite a bit, right? So this thing's gonna look good on all the fronts. Let's do that. We'll see what happens. So I got all this shit working. You see how CleanSpark, nothing happening there.
Yeah.
I still got TSLL, nothing happening. You see, this is where I'm showing y'all that going live costs me money, right? Because now like I got to go revisit those and take $1 or $2 less, and I mean I'm showing it to y'all, right?
Now, are you going to adjust the 120, 150 in the 49-day, right?
Yeah, I want to go to 110 and maybe 115 and 115. No, since it's smaller now, you see how it's different because size matters, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking 115, 155. That way I can pick up more credit.
155, yeah.
I can adjust it anyway.
Because like I said, you can, after it get close to earnings, if it just goes right, then that's more money you make. But you know, if it doesn't, then you know, after that move, then you can add on. So
So I got to be willing to pay more a little bit to close it out, is what it's saying. Let's see if that works. Okay, so somebody danced with me. 13 of them.
Somebody, yeah.
So let me go back over here in the meantime and see if I could figure this. Because what were we trying to do over here?
We just try to roll up to the 10-5.
So I'm willing to take.
Try that real quick.
Yeah.
Try that.
And then there was something else with TSLL that I was doing. I was rolling down the call, right?
Yeah, rolling. Yeah. Might have to go to 30.
Yeah, this thing won't do it. I know it.
Yeah, you might have to go to 30.
So but that's the thing with these TSLs. It won't do it. You always have to take less
natural
and pay more. There we go.
All right.
So I picked up some credits over there. Now let's go back to this guy here. Let's go here. Let me just get this shit.
Probably have to go to try 39.
Yeah, it'll fill at 39.
39, yeah.
But you see the differences though, right? 1,000 contract. Wait, hold on. Oh, that's
Palantir. Okay, so Palantir doing what it's supposed to do. Hold up. Edit that.
Hold on.
Edit that real quick. Don't send that. Yeah. Because I think some of that got filled already. So I'll let that work just in case. Oh no, okay, that's something else then. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just we got a lot going on here. What am I doing here? Let me just clear this order. Oh no, this is it. Yeah, so I think it'll fill at 39. We'll call that good. Wait, hold on.
That's Palantir.
Okay.
Partial fill. Okay, there you go. You
A
feel
lot of shit going on right now, guys. So yeah, so we're good. So you see, so CleanSpark, we said there's the shares. We're playing a little Russian roulette with the portfolio, with the stock market, but I'm not willing to roll out because I want to position myself to lock in the win on the shares. So I want to play the position from behind, if that makes sense. I feel like I say that a lot, but I don't articulate it enough. Like, what does he mean, right? I'm telling you what I mean. I want to decide when I liquidate those shares.
Those shares, okay. Let me see your order chain with CleanSpark.
So, I go here, I go trade, right? Or what I do?
No, order chain
right here. Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead.
So you got $69, and it's marking at 86. Yeah, you good, bro. You picked up another 30. Yeah, you good. Yeah, you good.
I did pretty good there, huh? But look at that IV rank, bro. It's trash. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
So this is all just letting the days go by for real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then now we're just waiting on Palantir to hopefully de-risk itself, and then I could roll 100 of those contracts. Because if I try to roll them now, I roll expirations. I go to this guy here. You see how it's going to go?
Yeah.
And it won't. I'd have to change this. No, I'd have to change it to 100, right? If I wanted to do it now. Yeah. There we go. So I could technically do it now. And then I go boom, and I go boom, right?
Yeah.
And then I go here just to get it filled for you guys quick. Boom, I pick up 84,000. I'm still in the trade, just not in a big way because I'm not as confident. Is that fair?
Yep.
So then we'll let it stew.
Yeah. So and then that definitely looks better.
Yeah.
And then TSL.
And I see all this 666. I'm freaking out right now, dude. How do we change it?
Did TSL go?
I rebuked that in the name of Jesus. Yeah, we're good. We went. Okay, here we go. Oh, there we go. It changed. Ooh, thank God. Hold on. Something's cooking.
Yeah,
they cooking.
It's Palantir. I don't know what it.
Yeah, so we went from 17 strike on TSLL to 1450 to bring in more credits. I could stay in the trade again. There's no risk to the upside here, aside from you're capping your upside, right?
Right.
There's a difference between capping your upside and having risk to the upside. So exactly. People need to be careful with the language.
Okay. So
now let's go look at Palantir.
I think the 100 was filled.
Yeah, so my 100, boom. And then we're waiting on 124 of them to let them marinate. But then it is feeling real now, though, right? Because y'all notice that profit and loss isn't changing. So I'm locking. Either you're not going to go broke, locking and winning. Look at the options buying power. It went up to 66.2. Here we go. I think we're getting their option. I think
99. Yep. And now let's leave your order chain
on Palantir.
Yeah. Should fill. And unclick closed.
This guy right here. Okay.
I mean, well, yeah, that's right.
Nothing changed.
Okay, hold on. I mean, unclick open.
Okay.
This should be. That's what. Okay. All right, you good. That's nothing. I think I gotta wait for it to finish.
Yeah, it's doing its thing. So let me talk to you all about the trade that I got more excited about. How's that?
Okay.
Because there's a reason why I'm chickening out on Palantir. Make no mistake about it. Call it what you want. I'm chickening out. Okay, that's fine. But you don't really have to explain winners in poker. You know what I mean?
No, you don't.
Are we really gonna dog TJ for making 340 grand on a trade that I probably shouldn't even be in? Because I don't believe in it.
I'm
Right?
telling you.
I don't believe in it at these prices, dude. I stand behind my decision to sell these shares at about $80.
Mm.
You know, you do the math, left some money on the table. Well, guess what? I've gotten a lot of it back already, and I feel a lot better about it because I don't have the drawdown with Palantir.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a drawdown waiting to happen. So, again, it's just how I feel. I'm not saying I'm right. This is just feeling. Feelings aren't factual, right? They're real to you, but that doesn't make them facts. If that makes sense. So anyway, so I feel good about that. I feel good about all that. We'll wait on this one. Hopefully it will do its thing. And then we did both, right? We closed for the win. We minimized, so the sizing is more appropriate based on the comfortability or lack thereof. And then we also rolled, and I feel a lot better at 115 and 155 anyway. So all that stuff's good. So now let's talk about the one that I feel better about, and that is PayPal. I've got 1,000 short strangles at 67.50 and 82.50. Why do I feel better about it? Because I would totally be okay owning a shitload of shares, would be 100,000 shares of PayPal.
Okay.
At 67.50 if my hand was forced.
Correct.
The risk on this trade, in my mind, is definitely to the upside because they're going to have earnings at the end of next month. But by that time, I'm looking to roll, and then I'm looking to stay at 67.50, maybe even increase to 70, and then I want to be at least at 85 or so on the next roll.
Okay.
But eventually, the vision again is I have a vision for these trades when I get in them, right? My vision is to be at 70 and like 90, 95, maybe even 100. And then at that point, I'm like, I can make it at the finish line or pretty damn close to it because I don't have a valuation problem. If anything, I think PayPal is undervalued. So that's where it becomes a little bit different. But it's also, I had already sold this because this is where I knew the Palantir money was going to go, if that makes sense. Okay. And something else that I did is I sold 250 short strangles on Amazon because that's where the Palantir money was going. So now I'm running the strangles at 190 and 230. I'm getting my ass kicked a little bit because Amazon chose to go up, but I can always increase the strike on the put. And then I can adjust. And again, it's Amazon. I don't have to worry about it going to $300 over.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a much safer trade. Whereas Palantir, who the hell knows, dude? I mean, this thing's so crazy, dude. The love for this company is so crazy. Option. It could go to $175 overnight. I mean, this thing is it's whack, right? Like this stock is like something I've never really seen, or I have seen, but not in a long time.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you got to take your hat off to some of these companies, dude. I mean, these companies, it's a unicorn. It's a unicorn, and I'm comfortable playing it, but I have to play it smaller.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to play it smaller. I want more information. What's the information I'm looking for? Earnings. Let me feel me some Dr. Karpagin. Let me feel his words. Let me ruminate on those words, and then I'll know whether or not I want to have a bigger stake in the company, if you will. But right here, I feel really, really good. This was originally at 65 and 80. I didn't like it, so I switched to the 65. Okay. And here we go. There we go.
Should be good now.
Tasty working. Come on, Tom, do your thing, man.
Got another 80.
Got another 80. But she working. Yeah. So good. So now I'm sitting on Amazon, I'm sitting on PayPal, and I'm feeling really, really good about it. And I also increased the position on Soxel. It was at 20 and 26. I started reading some technicals. A gentleman on X actually helped me out. He sent me some screenshots. And so I increased it from 20 to 22. So these are all moves that I've made. And I'm staying in this one strong. I'm staying in this one strong. I eventually see it at like 24 and like 32. And I might increase it eventually to 500. So again, this is where all the Palantir money's going. So I wanted to
To
reposition, restructure the portfolio, because why was I able to do that? Let's finish off with Tesla while we're waiting on Palantir. Tesla had a nice day on Monday.
Okay.
And I had 500 leaps, and I closed 250 of those for a nice profit of maybe a couple $100,000 or so. So I took that theta off the table, right? And then I rolled these to June, so a year from now. And I went from 300 and 470 to 300 and 500. And then I'm going to stay in this trade through the end of the year. I'm already winning, but I need to collect.
Yeah.
Remember, I told you I got this Tesla trade, right? Remember when I didn't want to? Like, oh, I write a book on this shit. I got this one.
Okay? Let me see the order chain, though. Let me see the order chain.
I said I'm getting my ass kicked here. Give it time. Give it time. So here we are.
Honestly, you're not.
I'm okay. I mean, but it's going to be better option. Just roll with me on this one, okay?
Okay, I got you.
No, but this is the plan. This is the plan. The plan is to ride this thing out to the end of the year. If it's going well, because I think that Tesla, if anything, should trend down. But if it goes sideways or slightly up, that's okay. I want to eventually close 250 of these up, 250 of these out for a nice profit. Take all that risk off the table, and then I've got my 250 leaps, and I've got my 250 short strangles, and then I'm going to roll these to the 567-day cycle and let it play out and bring in even a shitload of more credits. And then I'm going to call life good, and then all my money is going to be made over here. Like, this is what I'm swing trading, is the TSLL. And I do think that by the end of the year, this thing will have at least $1 million, $1.5 million tied to it, to the positive on TSLL. All the while I'm restructuring and I'll finish repositioning sometime by the end of this year, depending on how I'm looking for taxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was whether or not I want to, because when you roll, there's some losses potentially that you could bake into the cake. So I'll look at all that stuff really closely.
Yeah. Just one thing, TJ. Just one thing. All right. If you look at the, and I know this is just a thought, right? If you look at the order chain, right? The order chain tells you that. The order chain tells you that on your position, you are up 211,000, right? That's what you up on everything right now. So your options have won, right? Now you far out in time. You can literally right now shut all of that down.
Yeah, and I won. And
be able to start fresh, closer.
Right.
I'm
fully aware of all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do it. What I will do after deliveries drop, and they're going to be horrible. Mm-hmm. Because I'm going to win that call. Everybody gave me shit on that 500 call. That Tesla's going to the moon and it's on SpaceX and all that other bullshit. And I don't believe. I'm sorry, I don't believe. I don't buy puts, but also naked calls. You follow me? It's the same function in my mind, except on one, there's capital outlay. On two, I'm getting a shitload of cash. So that was my version of buying a put, is also a naked call on Tesla. And I'm going to make all that money. There's 1.7 million. I want to collect another million of it. There's one. And then two, I need to collect all of this money so that I'm free rolling on these leaps right here. So that's the function of this strangle. Because I do believe that next year is the year of Tesla, because full self-driving will start hitting its stride. The robotaxi will start hitting its stride. And then I think there's going to start being some murmurs of Optimus.
Gotcha.
And then I think that Elon and Trump, it's all a show. I don't think solar credits or any of that shit is going anywhere. And I think the energy business is going to keep pumping on Tesla. And now they have 4 verticals, like legit verticals, right? Or 5. They've got the cars themselves. They've got the robo taxi. They've got the energy. They've got the battery storage or energy storage. Maybe it's all the same sector, I guess. And then you're going to have now where you're going to be talking about Optimus as a legit vertical sometime next year. And it's going to be really, really exciting. And I want to stay in these leaps. In fact, I might have to roll them out an additional year if it takes a little bit longer because Elon's on his time, right? Like his timeline, he's trying to do hard stuff. So those problems don't get solved overnight. And so that's why I need this strangle to finance those leaps, if that makes sense. Because I think these leaps are going to print. I just wasn't willing to do it to the tune of 500 leaps. I'm only willing to do it to 250 because it was a really big bet, dude. It was like over $4 million when I bought those leaps, and I didn't feel good about it. And now I feel pretty good about this position. And I don't think Tesla's going to go like
that. I'm just scared with the IV on there in Tesla right now being so low. Yes. That's the only thing that scares me, knowing how that joint can rev up.
Yeah. And, that'll hurt me.
But yeah.
So what about? I mean, I just don't want to do it. But would it be the worst decision?
Cut some in half, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying, would it be the worst thing to sell?
I mean, cut some, man. I mean, you're profitable. You got to take some. You can always add back on, right?
I know this. Yeah. I'm just saying, I got to get it filled, though. Man, I don't know. That hurts my soul.
It don't hurt your soul. Don't let it hurt your soul. It just look that way for now. I mean, because you're so far out in time, you're going to be in there till January, right? And with the movement that you're going to get, it's going to just be acting crazy. So my thing is, if you do that now, you can always pick that back up. If it swing one way and it drop, and you be like, okay, well, this is a time for me to add 500 more to the put side or 250 more. You're going to pick all that money back up. But it's just so close right there. The 500 is good, but the 324 and your 300, Tesla can drop $24 in one day. And that's gonna,
affect that buying power. It's going to affect that buying power a little bit.
Bro. So, I mean,
because it is an obligation, just so that the audience understands what we're talking about here. It's an obligation to buy $15 million worth of Tesla at $300. That's what the obligation is.
Yeah.
Call it what it is. That's the obligation, right?
I mean, you're already up, so it's not like you can just keep chipping away at it. And man, I don't know what, I know that 2 million look weird, but
no, hold on. Let me look to see if there's somewhere else I can go pick up that money. Hold on. I wonder if I could do another, because again, I always look to where I'm the most comfortable.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And this is my most comfortable trade. I have 3,000 puts at 15 on SoFi. And that's the trade that I started at 11. I moved it up to 12, 13, 14. Now we're at 15. And I'm stopping at 15. I'd be comfortable. It's almost like, feels like a ratio spread to a certain extent now. I'd be more comfortable adding another couple of thousand puts over here. I bring in some money, not a lot, but just to kind of like ease the pain, because they're giving away $2 million in premiums a lot. Now, obviously, I could absorb it. I'm on the wrong one. I could absorb it because there's 16 million in cash.
Yeah,
I could easily absorb it.
But you can get it. You're gonna get it back.
No, it's there anytime I want it. I get it. Yeah. It's still hard, right? It's because I feel like I'm winning this trade, and it's real hard to talk me out of it because I feel like I caught a lot of shit on this trade, and now I want every motherfucker to eat crow.
Bro, you won.
I know, but I wasn't big enough yet. Option.
I know you're trying to put that. I know you're trying to put the hammer down on their ass, but
dude,
wait for that volatility to pick back up. Remember, volatility. Yeah. As soon as that volatility picks back up, boom, you can do it. You can add on to it and do whatever you want to do, and you're gonna pick up those same premiums. It's just with volatility so low. It's just not. It just don't feel. It ain't even a feeling. It's just the the math, right? So I mean, that's just how I would kind of think.
There we go.
Okay, so now you just got
to get a little bit of money back on Palantir just to be done with it. Okay, so now the way we stand on Palantir is we've 115 and 155 out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not that I'm being stubborn over here on Tesla, because what Option is saying makes sense. I'm just not willing to do it. But I am willing to acquiesce a little bit and be halfway responsible in my mind. And I'm willing to do 100 contracts.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you taking a profit, there's nothing wrong with that, right? You know, anytime.
Oh God, this one hurts. Hold on. Oh God, this one hurts. Fuck, it hurts, man. I know I'm fucking right, and I feel like I'm just giving back premium.
It's going. Trust me. Trust me. You're going to get it back. It's going to come right back. Watch
Hold
it
on. Baby, call the ambulance. Oh God, call the ambulance.
It's going to come back. It's going to come back, man. It's going to come back.
Oh my God, that hurts so bad.
Because it's just when it's sitting at 3.
I got a bag right here. I think I got to throw up. Oh baby, did I get it? Let me see it. Well, you just gave back $865,000 in premium for Tev. Don't worry about it. I'll get it back. It was the right thing to do. My wife's getting a knife, bro. If anything happened to me, Kristen did it, okay? Kristen did it. I'm out buried in the swamp in the back.
You can grab that back real quick.
No, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, you grab it back.
All right. So I brought this little tripod.
Mm-hmm.
You proud of me, baby? This didn't come from China. I think this came from Houston. Every time I buy shit, it comes from like Indonesia or something. So this is for my little fitness journey. I bought this little tripod, or I don't know what I bought exactly. But it's supposed to, oh God, it's still happening. Just be swift. I feel like I'm under the guillotine and they're just like pushing it down slowly. You know what I mean? Like just like chop it off already. So I have this little deal here. Again, I don't know how it works yet. But so I guess you put your phone on here somehow. It's like that.
Okay.
And it's got a base, I assume. Like, okay, yeah. So I screw the base in.
Does it adjust?
So then this thing has like some facial tracking thing where this thing is going to
spin,
move as I move and groove. So I'm gonna put it in the garage, and then I think this might be a remote, so that I could do my my fitness action live for you guys.
Okay.
So when TJ goes from fat to fit, baby. So this guy here, again, I don't know how this works. I'll have to like, watch a video or something. There's a user manual, but we don't need that. That would be too easy. So I'll have my wife help me because I have no idea how it works. But I saw somebody promoting it.
Okay.
And then also I'm going to use it for the FaceTimes now because I'll put it on my desk. Then when I do the FaceTimes, I could use because I usually prop it up against a microphone.
Okay.
So anyway, it'll be cool. So that's going to be coming at you guys here soon. So did this work or no?
Yeah, it's at 400.
There we go. Okay, that's better. Let's see what happened to the cash balance. Oh, Lord. Oh,
no, you're good, bro. Got 7 million. Just put a little capital on the side. You put a little bit more buying power on the side. Yeah,
but look at that buying power, though. I can really handle some Black Swan events now.
Yeah, that's what you need. You got to have some cash on the side so when things go wrong, then you can lay out on. You can really lay out on them then, right?
Yeah.
So
no, but it's better sizing, though. It really is. It really is, because now that's a $12 million obligation to buy Tesla instead of a $15 million. So there's that. I just recently started selling naked calls on SoFi, and of course, the SoFi community better be sending me caps and hoodies and everything, because this shit wouldn't be shooting up if I hadn't sold those naked fuckers. Can't even get Anthony No to send me a cap, bro, and I own more shares than some of his stupid execs that make all kinds of bullshit excuses as to why they sold shares. Nobody buys shares over there, bro. He's the only exec that like bought shares and like one other person. And they want us to be bullish on SoFi. I'm like, y'all ain't bullish on SoFi. Why should we be? You know what I mean? Like, people need to like start talking a little more shit to these execs, because I'm like, dude, the best way to pump your stocks, why don't you buy some damn shares? I mean, show us that we're in it with you. That's why I got so bullish on SoFi to begin with, is Anthony Noto was buying shares. And I love all my Bitcoin miners, but those CEOs ain't buying any shares. They ain't buying shares. I'm like, why am I buying all these shares? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even want your shares. So, because it's not illegal for them to buy shares.
No.
Oh, man.
You look good, though, man. You're looking good, man. Looking good.
Looking good. What do you think about this PayPal, man? I know you're probably not the biggest fan, but I follow this company a lot. Shout out to Roy Crossroads. He's my source for all things PayPal.
Okay.
And he follows it. He did an interview with Alex Chris, the CEO. Amazing interview, dude. They just really, you can tell they hit it off. Like they have a connection, and it was awesome. This company's buying back the float. Like this guy, and look at you, Palantir doing Palantir things, bro. Already up to 140. Boy, that really worked out because there was pressure on the upside, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel real good about locking in that win on Palantir. That's
you did your thing on that one.
That's the best decision I made in a while, dude. And then as painful as it was, closing out 100 of these short strangles, it was a good move too. And there's an opportunity. I could always do 100 short strangles, short dated, right? And I can go grab some money that way. If I feel like just doing it.
And if it drop a little bit more harder, then you can add, the premiums are going to explode. You can add the other 100 back on there.
But what I would rather do is for that IV to go place.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Wait for that to explode. Now it's going to be crazy after that. And perfect would be for it to kind of, drop hard, right? Because we can manage puts, but you'll be winning on your call side. I would just take the calls off and just sell puts at that point.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what about what about just taking off puts and leaving all the calls?
Yeah, you can do that.
I feel so good about the calls.
Yeah, I would do that. Because you at 300, you know what I'm saying, and the stock at 320.
Yeah, it'd be ideal if this shit tanked, and then now I'm sitting at like even 275.
Exactly,
I'd be in a much better spot.
Exactly. So yeah, because if it tanked, now you can get back in at a cheaper,
I'll get the same premium back, but I have a lower strike price, which is just.
And you'll get the premium back because Tesla normally don't stay at no 24, bro. It's like, that's not gonna happen.
So how do I do this?
Come to the next one.
This guy?
Yeah, that's the 400.
Yeah, but I don't want to close all of them.
Oh yeah. Come, no, you can change it. Yeah, that's about right. I will come start at the mid though. Yeah, I'll start
here. I'll go like right here. No.
No. Do the natural. Right there. Yeah, I'll start in the middle. Yeah,
oh man, that was quick. That was quick.
Tesla is liquid.
No, you see, like, yeah. So now essentially, just so that people really understand what's going on here, it is really, really good for me if Tesla goes to like 300, because then I can put those on again, maybe even lower those 300s to 250, and now I'm sitting in the driver's seat. Hold on.
Because the 500 look good. There's no need to, mess with that.
No, but this is the right play because I know the chart, dude. I've been studying the chart on Tesla. And this thing is going to go to 300. Y'all heard it here first. No, I know. I just know it. So
You
so
know,
there's no reason to be stubborn. I feel good about this now. We're good.
and you got your upside with your 250
Yeah, obviously.
leaks. So if that switches, then you still,
Yeah, but if she tanks, I can add to these leaps.
you can add to those
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Then we're gonna get to the
And then
zebra.
let's see how
Once we
it
get to the
looks.
zebra, then we'll definitely be good using the zebra.
Yeah, I don't know about the zebra yet. I have to learn about it because I don't know if it's a black horse with white stripes or a white horse with black stripes. You follow me?
It washes away the extrinsic value in the long call.
Yeah. So look at this options buying
It's
power,
awesome.
though, guys. Look at this options buying power. This thing looks good. The cash is kind of irrelevant. Yeah, but obviously my theta went down, right? My extrinsic value went down, but I can always pick it up if I mean, I can get jiggy with fucking Amazon here, but I'd be more comfortable at like 190 and 240. You know what I mean? These are just exercises. We're almost done. These are exercises that I do. Is I go through the trades and I open up the trade table and I just look at my deltas. Right. So I'm like, I see a delta of 13, I see a delta of 37. So y'all can see how that's not balanced at all. So it would make sense to maybe go from 190 to 200 to get a little bit more delta neutral, but that's not going to help a lot, but it's something, right?
Yeah, it kind of gives you like what 16 deltas, so that's pretty much delta neutral.
Yeah, so that's because this one's a little out of whack. So
yeah, but
these are minor adjustments.
Yeah,
right? But I think the right place to go over here and then try to get, I just get it filled here for you guys quick. Pick up another $39,000. I got to start clawing my way back, right? Because they gave back a lot of premium. That's going to make a difference. So there's that. CleanSpark, I feel good about it. I feel really, really good about it. So that's good. But you guys can see, though, right, that is $1,083,000.
Yeah.
100,000 shares. So that's like, do you really need that much on a minor, right? Yeah. That's the. And again, guys, like I don't really condone short strangles on the minors because they're extremely volatile. So I guess one thing that I do want to leave you guys with is a little bit of, let's talk about some responsibility, like being responsible. It's whenever you have a stock that's extremely volatile. I think you can start off short, you start off uncovered or naked, but I do think that at some point you need to try to cover that position because that is a way that you could blow up your account.
Yeah, what's the beta on it? Go to that go to that reel over there. Let's put your beta up here as well.
Here?
No, the other one on your right hand side by the cap requirement. And there you go, right there. Pull up the beta. Click on that. See what it says.
Yeah, so I don't know where.
There you go. So there you can see that the beta, when you close it, you see it's moving 3.43. So yeah. I mean, we know what beta is, so that's very volatile.
Yeah, big time. It's the third volatile on the thing.
It's more volatile than Tesla. Tesla at 2.24.
Yeah,
it's up there with the Riot, pretty volatile too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But these Bitcoin miners, what's weird about them sometimes is the betas real high, but yet the IVs, like you're not. So you got to get paid for that risk, right?
Right, correct.
And sometimes you're not getting paid for that risk.
Correct.
That's why sometimes you won't see me selling puts on these at times.
Mm-hmm. You can look at them. Look, if you look at the trade table, it tells you with the deltas. You can see how they drop off if you look at the open it up.
Well, I'm here in the 21 days. So you can see.
Yeah, you see how they drop off from 40. You get a move that easily going to be down to like 29, 30. That's it can get real crazy with those.
Yeah.
You want your deltas to be flattened out. You know what I'm saying? You want them to always just be flattened out so it can like a SPY. You see what I'm saying? If you look at SPY news, $1, it may go from 50 to 53 to 54, things like that. So you kind of like even like how HEMS is. You see how the deltas is on HEMS, and that's what I be looking at. I be looking to see, okay, if I get this certain amount of movement, how are my deltas is going to reflect, because your deltas is the reflection of your P&L. So if your deltas are jump from if it move $1, it go from 40 to 38, you're not really getting, your P&L is not really getting hit that hard. But if it moves from 40 to 20, oh yeah, your P&L is going to get hit very hard. So
yeah,
that's what I look at.
What do you think about that HIMS? It's the short strangle that I put on when it tanked. So people have wondered, why did I go 33?
Okay.
The reason I went 33 is because that's the 200-day moving average. And then there was like a lot of negative news. Potentially they lied about some stuff or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of libel and slander going around between them and Novo Nordic, or however you say that company.
Okay.
And then the reason I picked 70 is because that's close to their high whenever they squeezed last time.
Yeah, that's
and then the premiums were pretty dang good for staying out of harm's way, right? So I was like, well, man, I have to babysit this trade. I'm still picking up, $1,000 in theta daily, and let's just be in it for 30 days, and then we'll see if I want to tighten it up. But if I already started wide, and if it stays comfortable, minor adjustments, and I can afford to stay in this trade longer. And that's what Palantir has taught me, right? Because what have I learned with Palantir? Is I could have continued to be comfortable with this thing if I would have started at like 100 and 170 or something, right?
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm collecting theta. Because eventually that theta is going to ramp up. But we get what? We get so fixated on our premium, on our delta, whenever we get into the trade. But at the end of the day, we're theta collectors, right?
Correct.
So I'm learning that, and I kind of like got this little nugget from Sergio via text, is start wide. You can always narrow, but why start narrow and then go wide? Because then you're starting with all the pressure, right?
Well, you
just be happy with less, but then you're going to be able to stay in it longer. And then now you've got a trade this is going to start printing month after month, but it takes a couple of months to really put it the way that you want it, if that makes sense.
I mean, for me, if I'm in like a HIMS, honestly, I'm going to be like 30 deltas, because you got to think about it. It's all about gamma in these positions. Gamma is more better at your at the money. So if I'm in HIMS, and I see that I'm not going to be that far out, because nothing is going to happen. Remember, your gamma has flattened out, so you're not getting that much of a change.
But keep in mind though, there's a 12 delta and then there's a 29 delta.
Yeah, I mean,
but one of them's negative, right? Because you're short delta on the put.
Yeah, but think about this. Just look at this, TJ. You got to move today, right? $3.48. But look how much you lost. Look how much contracted on that long put, but 12.
Yeah, because the pressure's to the upside on the stock, because it just got its ass kicked, right?
But go back to the trade table. Let me show you. I can show it to you just by. So see, if you see if you look at your net change all the way to the right, the red. If you look at the 33 on the put side, I'll talk about your put side. Scroll down
right here, 18.
So it lost 18 cents today. So it made.
Well, it gained 18 cents though, technically, because
it gained, but it lost 18 cents of the value of that particular strike.
Right.
But that's what's going to happen, because your gamma is so far out of the money. It's just straight across.
Yeah.
You got to come. Me personally, I will be a little bit closer to like probably the 29. So now we'll be losing 76 cents. So when implied volatility is high, when IV is high, these are the times where you literally have to get closer. You just have to. It just plays out that way.
So what you're saying is maybe roll this one up to like 40 at least to get a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, because when you look at it, just look at how your deltas is moving. They're not gonna go anywhere, because remember, when IV is high,
and that's pretty delta neutral, right? This one's a 29, and this one will be a 23. That would be a very delta neutral position.
And if it continue to go, at least now you're making some money. You're not gonna make no money out there. So to me, I see that's just holding risk. I get a $4 move up and I don't get but 18 cents. You know,
but I got my ass kicked on the short call.
Yeah. So that makes it even worse because you could at least been on the short call, you lost 87 cents, right? But if you was up, you could at least balance that out with the 47. It only would have probably been like half. You know.
Interesting.
So I mean, it's just how like for real, you gotta when you set those positions, you gotta understand what your gamma is, and you gotta understand that the relationship between the gamma, delta, and me personally is gamma, delta, and implied volatility. Those are the three things that I'm always going to look at. That's going to determine really how I'm going to set my trade up. And if IV is high, that's like a four-headed monster for me. I'm really going to be aggressive, you know, because I want the contraction of that IV. I want the contraction of that implied volatility, you know, and the only way you're going to get that is if you are close. Unlike, say, for instance, implied volatility is low. You know, it seems like when it's low, you want to go further out, right? Because right there is the deltas is going to be jumping a lot harder. So therefore, when it's low, you play it wide. But fortunately and unfortunately, you got to play it close when all four of those things are working in your favor.
Got it.
That's just me personally, though, you know.
Yeah, so I feel good. I took all the puts off, so got no risk to the downside on Tesla, aside from the long calls get their ass kicked. Dude, in a perfect world, I'd have played this perfect. I would have closed out all those leaps on Monday. Man, how to be sitting. But, you know, I'm not that good. So there's that.
You all right, though. Them leaps are right.
So good. I thought about adding 2,000 more contracts here, but I think that's just retarded.
Yeah. I know you had that. Y'all was thinking about that trade, but me, I would have just moved. I just don't like, say for instance, go to your setup on SoFi, and I want you to just look at this. Go ahead and click on both of them.
This guy?
Yes, both of them. Right click. And let me see the analysis of that. Okay. All right.
It ain't too bad.
Nah.
It's a wide football field.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, eventually, I will match this up, right? Like just to, like I could roll this guy to this guy right here and then match it just for OCD purposes, right?
Yeah.
just for OCD purposes. I wonder if I could get more out of it. No, I'd have to get a dev. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I would let that ride right there. I wouldn't.
No, I ain't doing nothing, dude. Nothing.
Because I only thing, like, say for instance, I want you to see something. Go to the trade table. Now, this is
just real quickly though. This is all going to go to June eventually because I'm trying to match up with.
Oh, it's going to okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying to match up with the performance bonuses for Anthony Noto, and then, but I'm trying to stick out this trade here because I want to eventually take this off. Okay. And the way that I can afford to take it off, even for a loss, is I would just increase the puts over here, right?
Okay.
And then I would just like take it off and let it run. I do think that SoFi is going to go to like $22 by the end of the year. I was saying 25, but then I just like really started looking at the valuation of SoFi. Dude, SoFi is not a cheap stock. I don't know where people are getting that right now. It's not a cheap stock. I mean, it's not like, oh my God, it's a fucking bargain. No, it isn't. It isn't a bargain. It is, you know, I love Riot, but it's not like a bargain. Like, oh my God, go buy Riot at 1056. If it was like 756, I'd be like, hey, the risk reward is pretty favorable. Go scoop it up, right?
Yeah. But so look, go. Let me show you how I set those up.
Trade table, right?
Okay, so hit clear off the orders you got. Hit clear on them orders you got in there already.
Okay, got it.
So let's just say technically I went to the 112, the 112 day.
Yeah.
And how I would set it up is I will go to the 23 put. I'm gonna pick up 82 deltas, right? This is how I set it up.
Selling the put in the middle.
Yep. Sell that put.
Okay.
That's how I sets it up. and I got 80 deltas, right? That's a synthetic 100 shares almost. And then I will go closer and sell a call. That's how I technically will do it.
Yeah, so you're running like the poor man cover call, kind of like what I do, but in reverse.
But it's in reverse. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm thinking, like, to me, I thought you was more bearish on SoFi.
No, I'm extremely bullish. I took a gamble selling those covered calls because I thought it was going to go sideways a little longer. But then now crypto's coming back, and now all this fucking confluence is going in SoFi's favor, and it's exciting. Don't get me wrong. I got 500,000 shares in my 401k. I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
But and because I don't have any covered calls on those.
Okay.
So I'm excited about it on one end, but over here it's like now I just created a little bit of a pain in the ass. But I'm like, well, how could I erase it? I could just sell more puts and lose money on the cover call, let it do what it wants to do, and then maybe I go sell cover calls down the road at 26, 27 bucks. Call it good.
So look, so if you did that, close the 112. Don't leave that there. Close the one and just minimize the 112. Let's go to like the 49 day. Go to the 49 day. And then you say sell the 20.
Yeah.
Now I want you to go to the analysis tab. Just click the analysis tab right here, up atop extrinsic value. Where extrinsic value is? No, on the platform. Yep.
Let me see.
You see where you got your change, delta, extrinsic value, gamma, the BidX. Along where it says the trade mode, where you got table, curve, active, grid. Okay, click that. Hit analysis.
Holy shit, look at those credits on SoFi.
Hit analysis for me. No, stay there, stay there.
People don't even know what's going on here, bro.
Hit analysis.
Yeah, I need to check into class, motherfucker.
And I want you to uncheck the bottom, the bottom two. Uncheck those. Okay. Now, damn it. Yours don't be popping up. Click. Yeah, because I wanted to see the trade, but it's fine. So yours don't be popping up. Okay, do this. Go back to the position. We can do it this way. Go to position.
Hold on, let me clear this stuff right here.
No, leave it there. Leave it there. Wow, that's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I needed it to still be there. But it's fine. But the thought behind it, you can just try when you get there. The thought would be that by selling that that put in the money, if you're selling that short call against it, if it rises up and go over above your call, you won't be losing on it.
Yeah.
And it's just like a covered call.
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it. Because if you're selling in the money and then you're babysitting anything you're losing on the cover call, you're making it up because you're synthetically long on the put.
So
yeah.
But like when I see it this way, I thought you was more bearish on it. But
no, dude, I told myself that I'm going to keep this at 15, but I can see a world where I'm going to increase this to 20.
To 20?
Eventually. Yeah, because I have the buying power to support it.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, this actually did closing out Tesla really gave me a lot of options over here to it got me saying is I could technically now I got to call them because Tasty won't let me buy 300,000 shares up front. But if I wanted to bring this closer, I could just turn this into a cover strangle and go buy 300,000 shares for a month. And take them away at $18 and call it good.
Call it a day, yeah.
And then I'm thinking that's the fastest way to get out of the gem, right? Because you don't have to finagle. I could just buy the shares and deliver the shares at 18, 19 bucks and call it
good.
Okay. And that's where when I no longer own these shares, I have more flexibility, right? When I no longer own these shares, I have more flexibility.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of money tied up in those shares.
Okay.
And look at this DGen. Last one. Did I know I've been saying last one, but this one for real this time. And then we're gonna do any Q&A. Maybe you can find anything on the chat option because I haven't been looking at the chat this whole time. I have 75,000 shares of Neo this is my last bullet ever with Neo.
Okay.
I bought them at 341. So I'm actually up on some shares in Neo. And then I sold these in the money at 350, 49 days out. And I put all the shares for sale at $4.
$4.
but it's just not a lot of premium in this thing. But I'm like, I'm gonna try to get $1 out of this whole thing, maybe more. And I didn't have anywhere else to put money. And I was trying to get the 12 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I went to something that was comfortable because I saw it on my watch list over here. And it was at like 340. I was like, what? So I scooped up. I think I started with 25,000 and I immediately increased it to 75. And I was like, I'll get to 100,000 shares and see if I could do another swing trade with Neo since it was so cheap. I felt like if there was ever a time to potentially make money with it, it's kind of like when Enphase went to like $33. That was an opportunity to take ownership of some shares and write them up for a swing trade. You know that it's
I'm about to get back in that. I'm about to get back in Enphase myself.
I stayed in it, dude. I stayed in it, and I'm cruising at 40 and 45, and I'm not real stressed out about it.
Yeah, I'm about to get back in. I'm about to get back in there.
So
yes, I am.
There's that, and you can see how this thing's come down right on CleanSpark. So the pressure's taken off of the puts, and then now you got something else to focus on. Because remember, I just increased the strike price on those puts, right? So yeah, dude, it looks good. It looks good. I think we're good. Option. I appreciate you, my man, as always. I appreciate you talking me through Tesla. It's very, very painful to see your cash balance go from 16 to 13, right? But at the end of the day, it also feels really damn good knowing that there's not a lot that can happen to where I'm going to wake up and have negative options buying power, right? Like in other words, margin call.
Yep.
So
you got some cash on the side, so if things shake up a little bit, you can,
a lot. And I think the best trade that I made out of everything here today was closing out 400 short strangles on Palantir, locking in a pretty decent win. But I'm still in it because I know I'm going to be monitoring it. So it's important to stay in it to a certain degree. I can't stop looking at it, dude. It's like the girl we broke up, but I keep knocking her Facebook page and who should go to dinner with. I'm calling the girlfriends. Don't tell her I called. Right? Like, I'm playing high school games with Palantir right now because I broke up. I went. I told everybody that it was mutual. Right? I'm hitting home with a lot of y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know damn well she dumped your ass. You know she dumped you. But you're telling everybody that it was mutual. You lied. So I was like, dude, I keep stalking her. I got to get paid to stalk her. So I turned into a private investigator by selling short strangles on her.
Yep.
Because I feel like she's, it's like when you dump someone or they dump you, and then their life turns out better than yours. And you're angry about it. Hey, the comedy's extra.
Yeah, right.
Help me out with some live Q&A.
All right.
Help me out with some live Q&A here. Let's go through this thing. We got a couple. What's going on Midwest? What's going on? This guy changed his name. This used to be Shamu. And I'm the mind of
in the mind of faith. In the
mind of it. I don't know. What's going on?
In the minute do fail.
Stefan Bonova. Hey, this is a member. What's going on, Stefan? Midwest, Snowman, Lion. I think this one's changed too, the name. What's going on? Angel. This is See Yourself Fit. This is my buddy's channel for the fitness.
Okay.
Mr. G. What's going on, Lisa? Let's see if there's anything else. Yes, sir. It sure has. Amit has more daily life followers than me, Kevin. Now, good for him, man. Good for him. Let's give it up for Amit. Good for him, dude. What's going on? I think Amit is so damn authentic. So easy to like. Like, that is just a very likable human being.
Yeah.
I think that I could see a world where 100,000 people are going to tune in live. Like, this dude gets more views in one day than I get in a whole year, you know? And that's what happens when you stay true to your authentic self. The kid is just he's like full of jubilee, he's exuberant. He's just a very, very likable human being. And I feel fortunate enough. He's just a kid, but I feel fortunate enough to call him a friend. And I know that he likes having me in his corner too. You know what I mean? And it's he's a good dude, man. He's a good dude. Looking forward to the. Me too, dude. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really thankful that he called me yesterday, and I was like, and I was telling my wife about it. We started with the health pod. Let's finish with the health pod.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like my whole life on YouTube's taking me to this point because I'm about to become very relatable to the audience, baby. They're gonna see my vulnerable self. I'm going to be on display, grinding through a workout, chasing ghosts because I was really, really fit in a previous life.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to see me struggle, probably the way they struggle with selling options when they first get started. So I think that a lot of people are going to be like, "Hey, I could relate to that, dude." And then eventually that'll translate into maybe getting more viewers when we're just talking about finance only on the channel. So a lot of my stuff's going to be from the garage gym now, and then just a couple of days a week sitting on the desk, and then about 15 minutes, always like how I'm progressing on the workouts and whatnot.
Okay.
And then getting into what we do because I want to challenge people, dude. If you there's a quote of the day. This is a quote. What you're not changing, you're choosing. So it took me a long time to make the decision to change my appearance physically. And mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of those things, right? So it all started with the choice. It all started with the decision for myself. And I was like, what is the point of trying to make all of this money if I'm not going to be in a position to even just walk around the beach with my beautiful wife at Turks and Caicos? And she's like, hey, you want to walk a little bit more? And I'm like, hell no. I want to get back to that lounge chair. And dude, there was so much sugar in the sand, like you would like sink in. You would like sink in, dude, like 3 or 4 inches, and it was hard to walk on the sand. But we're walking like real close to the ocean where it's hard, right? Where the sand is harder. And then, but when it gets time to like walk to your little chair or whatever, the cabana. Oh, it was like a grind to do that over there. And I was like, dude, nah, bro, I'm way too heavy. And yeah, granted, I'm 50, but I still felt like that old country song. I'm much too young to feel this damn old.
Yeah.
And my wife still has a lot of energy. My wife's 41.
Okay.
So I was like, I can't do a disservice to her. I need to feel 41.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, like for what I can get. I'm not going to be the way I was 25 or 30 years old, right? But I'm saying the best shape that I can get in right now. Like I want to do it so that we can have the highest quality of life for the next 20, 30 years if God grants me that type of lifespan, right? Because what I don't want to happen is that she has to take care of me when I'm like 60, 65 years old because I didn't take care of myself, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, dude, I'm not doing that to her. I'm not doing that. No, because I saw it with my dad and my mom.
Okay.
My dad took care of my mom for like 10 years. And he loved doing it. He's a servant's heart. But I don't want to have to be in that situation. I'm like, no, dude, let me work on my flexibility, my dexterity. Let me get strong because it's good for your posture, all of those things. And let me work on getting my legs really, really strong because there's like so many studies that having strong legs contributes to the higher quality of life physically as you get older because those legs are the ones carrying you around, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people neglecting leg day, you're really doing a disservice to yourself long term. So I'm like, let me hire the most fit dude that I know. And he's been on the channel a couple of times. He's dabbled with selling options and whatnot. So
okay.
And obviously trust him, asked him to be the officiant at our wedding. And I'm super awesome. I feel blessed that he's gonna like guide me through this journey and hold me accountable and call me and text me and FaceTimes, and I'll have him appearing on the pod and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever want someone that could, walk you by the hand virtually, because he's in San Antonio, I'm pretty sure I can get y'all a pretty damn good discount. Because if he's doing like a group of us, then it's anyway. And I'm going to be handling a lot of the heavy lifting as far as paying him.
Okay.
So that's going to be an opportunity for you guys to get in there for For yes, Uzi and I are still going to be doing Tuesdays. We're just busy this week, so we're still good. We're still good. Let's finish this right here.
Mm.
Wheeler. Oh, I like Tasty Trade, obviously. Oh wow, good for you, man. Good for you. Hims, yeah, that's that. Hims has like TSLL. Hims has the
Yeah,
leverage ETF. That thing was down like 67, 60. Oh man, on the day that it tanked, dude, it's crazy.
yeah, I'm telling
It's crazy. I just started this position on Hims when it tanked. I was actually on the live. I think it was on Monday. And Tevez is like, hey, have you looked at Hims? And somebody in our WhatsApp group had mentioned it. So it was already in the back of my mind. And then when I saw the comment from Tevez,
you. Mm.
I put that trade on. I gave up on wheeling SoFi. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah,
I covered calls at 17 and 20 SoFi, right on. You got to look into the Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. They are developing these neon blue steroid type products, right on. Do you feel more confident in CleanSpark or Riot? On the Bitcoin mining side of things, CleanSpark. They've just proven to be a more efficient miner. Overall, as a company, Riot, because they have another vertical that they're pursuing, which is the high performance compute artificial intelligence. You need to swap the pastry. How would you handle TSL put for 7.3? Thinking about adding 2 weeks and rolling for 12.50 to 12.50 for credit. That's not a horrible move. I don't think you have to do anything right now, though. Well, I guess you kind of do because it's pretty close. Yeah, I'd probably do that, and I'd probably add like 30 days and call it good. TJ, should have changed my name. Sorry about that. What's going on, Stockman? If you have 1,000 shares and have one underwater covered call, does it make sense to roll it by buying back and selling 2 for a higher strike? You want to take that one, Amit?
just got one covered call underwater.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you got 1,000 shares and you just got 100, that's only 100. So I would just take it off. For real, I would just take it off.
Yeah.
And then just go back and get that premium, later on.
So Amit still lives in his parents' basement. He has all the time in the world to discuss markets. LOL. I wish I had time like him. Life's all about choices, guys. Amit's, 27, 28 years old, and he's choosing to do that. I think the family has collectively chosen to do that, and it has probably elevated him to probably damn near millionaire status if he's not already there, right? Because I know he had 3,000 shares of Palantir at $17 and just start doing some math.
Mm.
And I'm sure he added along the way. He makes money off YouTube. He's probably in that $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month range on YouTube already. He makes money on Twitter, probably another 500, 1,000 on Twitter. So the dude, he's probably damn near 6 figures already.
Mm.
And he's figured out how to do debit spreads. Chris Patel taught him debit spreads. So he's had some really, really big winners, like with not just Palantir, but he's made money with, I believe, SoFi. I know he made a lot of money with Hood, and he's done some other stuff. So, and he bought into that Figure, that robotics company. He bought in there. They finagled his way in there. I don't think he's definitely not an accredited investor at the time, but they finagled him in there so you can get sponsored into that type of stuff. They worked for a venture capital firm in a previous life in California. So it's all good. It's all good. When did you quit the oil field? COVID in 2020, March of 2020. Exercise training percent of people moving as we age, working out those muscles tells cancer and right on. Maddie Garrett, say TJ, long time since I was able to catch you on live. Wanted to thank you for teaching options to me over the past year or longer. It has changed my life, being able to control. So, and you're welcome, man. That's what I'm here for. You're welcome. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I got to run, man. I got to run. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm going to go grab a workout. It's called Life Good. And I'm just going to go look at this portfolio one last time. Make sure we're good. Anyway, appreciate all the moves today, Option. Appreciate your intelligence and friendship as always.
Definitely, man. Anytime, man. Anytime.
TJ, the Will Deal signing off with Option. As always, Sky Stay Blue Stock Stream. Peace out. God bless you guys.
All right, peace.